Well, good morning, and trust you're well. We're all very familiar with the Lord's Prayer, the prayer that Jesus taught his disciples, and we can read about it in Matthew chapter 6 and Luke chapter 11. And in that prayer, Jesus told his disciples to pray to the Father to deliver them from evil. And if we read on to John chapter 17, Jesus was again praying to his Father and prayed to keep the disciples, and us by implication, keep us from the evil one. And then he went on to emphasize the need for us to be sanctified in the truth. Now there's a lot of evil around at the moment, as I'm sure you'll agree. Wonder why it's necessary for us to ask the Father to deliver us from evil. Surely he'd want to do that anyway. Evil has no part in his nature. He abhors it. And why doesn't God just deal with it? It's a basic need, isn't it? Well, God knows more about us than we know about ourselves. And what he really wants is for us to examine our hearts before him. And he wants to hear us express to him our feelings and our needs, among other things. If we think back to Genesis chapter 3, Adam and Eve had sinned. They tried to hide from God. And God went out after them and said, "Where are you?" In 1 Kings chapter 19, Elijah was going through a tough time and he went off to hide. God went after him and called out, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And in Matthew chapter 20, Jesus encountered two blind men and he asked them directly, "What do you want me to do for you?" Now these questions weren't asked because the answers weren't known. It was to make people think and to engage. Now it's a big mistake to do what I've just done, and that's to take a few words out of context. Deliver us from evil needs to be read as part of the sentence, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And in fact, the whole of the Lord's Prayer needs to be read in its full and proper context. But lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. Why would he want to lead us into temptation? Well, of course, there are variations between different translations, and it's good and helpful to compare them. Perhaps a better translation would be along the lines of, "Save us from the time of trial. Don't let us yield to temptation, and deliver us from the evil one." One way of looking at this is, first of all, we're asking God to keep us from falling down a hole. But then if we do fall down into the hole, please would you help us to get out of it? Of course, it's always better not to fall down into the hole in the first place. Another way of praying perhaps would be, "I can't do this on my own. I need help. I'm weak and vulnerable. Protect me, Father. Keep me strong and focused on you." There are times, of course, when God allows us to go through difficult situations in order to help us to develop and to grow. But we always have that promise that he will be with us, helping, even carrying us, and that empowered by him we won't be tempted beyond our ability to resist. So what does this mean in today's situation? Well, of course, we're praying together, aren't we, that God will bring a quick and complete end to this awful epidemic. But that in the meantime, will he please use it to draw people to himself and help us to more deeply understand our dependency upon him and to deepen our trust in him, and helping us to grow in grace and truth. Well, I trust that's been helpful. It's certainly been helpful to me putting these thoughts together. God bless you, and we can look forward to a day, hopefully before too long, that we'll be able to meet again face to face and share the goodness of God together. Thank you, and goodbye for now.